even though I've been knowing Isaiah for 3 years, this year is my first year ever seeing his like super turned up. Baby, let me tell y'all, I said I'm gonna remove myself because listen, I don't think both of us going at it gonna work. Y'all already know what it is. It's your girl Tayway checking in. We're here at Trill Studios. Another episode of True Tuesday and another special guest in the building. Y'all know I keep them coming. Stop playing me. Y'all gotta find y'all somebody to play me. Okay. I ain't gonna lie, my energy like real high right now. But first I want to tell all my supporters, thank you, and to everyone that subscribed. Also, thank you. Make sure you keep subscribing. Need the follows to go up. And without further ado, y'all know I have to give y'all the definition of truth first, and then we get this show rolling. So, if you do not know what the definition of truth, or if you are not a true truth follower, like I said, I always give the definition of truth. So the definition of truth is the quality or state of being true, something that can only be seen if it is within them. So my example that I always give, if you have always been a true follower, is that you don't have to get it tatted on you. You don't have to, it's not something that you have to constantly say. You know, if it's truth and truth is in you, then it will show. So, as I said, without further ado, I have a special guest in the building. And he goes by Visionary Genius. So, without further ado.
I go by Visionary Genius, that's funny. I do go by Visionary Genius, but I also go by Zay, by my name. But Visionary Genius is definitely my Instagram handle. But thank you for having me on True Tuesday. You know.
And before you just start talking to me and we get all into everything, you know, gotta give you an oath.
Okay.
You don't need a manager or nothing. But you just gonna truth that you know you're gonna tell the 100.
That's all right. I'll get my lawyer on you later.
Okay.
Cool.
So without further ado, I just need you to insert your name into this blank. You're gonna give this oath and we're gonna get this thing jumping like jumping jacks.
Let's do it. All right. I, Zay, aka Visionary Genius, aka Zay P, swear to keep it 1,000 at all times. And only real when speaking to the queen of the truth on this Tuesday. I promise to always choose the ugly truth and never the pretty lie. Okay.
So you gonna do that fake signature?
I saw you.
Yeah. That's yours, and you can put it in your, you know, your stuff or whatever.
I shall do that.
So the reason that I introduced you as Visionary Genius because I wanted to just jump straight into, you know, where did you get that name from? Like, where did it come about?
So, I forgot what my Instagram handle was before it was ever Visionary Genius, but I usually am the guy that when you put me in a situation, I can figure out how to make it work and keep the show going. And so one day I was on a theater set and we weren't gonna be able to open the show, and one of the ladies was like freaking out, and so I figured out how to fix the problem with the audio system. And then we were like, okay, we got that, now we need a couple of other things, we're missing an actor. And so I just kind of made a lot of things happen, and then boom, she was like, you're a visionary genius. And I was like, I am a visionary genius. That was back in like 2013, and so that's been my Instagram handle since then. Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, I really like that too. You think you're gonna keep that like forever?
Man, I don't know. I be thinking about changing it to my name, because a lot of people be calling me Visionary Genius, and I be like, my name's Isaiah, how you doing? But nah, I probably will keep it like that.
Same, that's how I feel too. I be thinking about changing my IG handle, but I'm just like, Beyond Beautiful Day.
Everybody knows it.
Because people don't be knowing your real name.
No, they don't really know your real name, and then you got to think about it. If you change it, how are people gonna find you? So
that
just kind of keep it the same.
That is correct. So I just want to throw that out there before we got started. So as you guys know, Isaiah is a very good friend of mine, and so, you know, I'm about to dig deep, get some good stuff. And I really just wanted to start, you know, at the top because I know you as a person, and I wanted to ask you, you know, how important is family to you?
Oh, beyond important. I think sometimes I put family even above myself, which can be detrimental, to be honest with you. But family's everything to me. I'm going to always kill, do whatever for family. And then beyond the thing is family is more than just blood. So if I've ever showed love to you and got love back, you're family to me. So family is highly important.
Oh, I like this. So guess what? I'm family.
Yes, your family.
Okay, so like I said, speaking of family, and like I said, me knowing you really well, how is your relationship with your mom?
Oh, that's my girl.
My mom, knew it was gonna be
me
something
and
like
my
this.
mom are really, really, really close. I always joke with her because in high school, I told her I could not stand you. Like my mom was on me every moment. Somewhere around senior year of high school, she was like, okay, I've told you everything I could tell you. And then instantly it was almost like, oh, she's my friend. She is nice, she is fun, she is, you know, all of that just kind of happened. But like now, me and my mom are as close as can get. My mom had me at 16, so I was like her lap baby. All her friends in high school, those are like my aunts and uncles. Like I still have people that she keeps up with that just has always looked out for me. But yeah, my mom, that's the one.
That is crazy. You just told me something. I didn't know she had you at 16.
At 16.
So y'all, yes, y'all is close.
We ain't that far from it. No, I'm playing.
Y'all, I'm not gonna lie, they is close, like super duper close.
Yeah, that's
super
my girl.
Duper close. Okay, so this is funny because it's like I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but I definitely want to ask this. I always throw my spontaneous questions in, and I feel like you will answer this very, very well.
Okay.
Do you feel like men's mental health is overlooked?
Oh, of course.
So I just want you to elaborate.
I'm about to say that's a no-brainer. I think men's mental health is overlooked for multiple reasons. Men's mental health is overlooked because we allow it to be overlooked, us as men, and then people, men and women included, overlook it just because we're taught to keep going. And I think everybody is. I think men, women, we're all taught to keep going, but it's something about being a man where, you know, we're the provider, we are the strong one, the person, the breadwinner of the family, or however you may look at it. It's something about it that we take that on, and a lot of times we don't do a lot of introspection because we don't have a lot of alone time or time to ourselves. A lot of times men just keep going, and then it's like, boom, they hit a wall, or they are, you know, pretty much enraged and everything. That's why anger is such a big thing when it comes to men, because there is no release that we really do. And then a lot of times, like, if you don't have mature male friends, we don't share with each other. I do have a couple of boys that I can like talk to. When it ain't happening, when I'm not feeling it, I can talk to them. They can let me vent, and then they can tell me to get off my ass and get myself together.
Correct.
So, yeah.
Okay, and then another thing that I just want to piggyback off is like, do you feel like society also play like a big part in men's health?
Society norms all of that. Society norms all of that because we have no choice but to fall into standards that are laid out, you know, and we follow steps that we've seen before, you know, what our fathers have done and uncles and whatever. We just kind of do those same things, and a lot of times that repeats. So yeah.
Look at you, got the things below it. Like you was, let me find out you was on my computer looking at my questions.
I was not.
You already know.
I have no idea what you're about to ask me.
So, next thing, what did you do to start believing in yourself, to do the wonderful things that you are doing when others did not quite see a vision?
Easy. I stopped not believing in myself. I was just talking to a friend of mine that was, I was very irritated because I saw something recently. And I was like, man, why didn't I get invited to that? Why wasn't I a part of that? Did I not have a seat at the quote unquote table? And it made me realize, man, that like, you don't need a seat at the table, build your own. And so when I got that mental process together, I stopped trying to not try and not do. I was like, I have to do it. And one of the best things that I learned, and I heard this from someone else, stop trying to be seen. Stop trying to be in the spotlight and be at a place where you think everybody should regard you in this great way and all of that. Because if you're in this place currently, that's because God wants you right there. He's trying to groom you in your cocoon, and then you'll be able to thrive and flourish, and everybody can see you and everything. But you have to start somewhere, and you have to be okay with starting. A lot of times we're not okay with the process, but I've learned to fall in love with the process. So yeah.
Oh, that was a gem right there. And I love that you said that. I feel like you was speaking to me, because I was just talking to my daddy on the phone. You know, I was talking to my daddy.
Always. If you get a hangnail, you call your daddy.
But he came, they been calling. It's tax season right now. He's trying to tell me I can't talk. Look, you better answer this phone for me. But I was just having that conversation with him, because it was just like, I was trying to be on this person's team and that person's team and help this person. And it's like, now that I'm doing this, I'm just like, take all them years that you was trying to help this person do this, do this, do that. And it's like, look what you doing.
Yeah.
And that's probably why it didn't work here or there.
That's exactly why it didn't work. We have to understand and realize that what we're building, what we're meant for. You know, I used to get so upset because I would apply to these jobs that, one, I would feel like I'm qualified for. And I'm like, why didn't they choose me? But that's not what you're supposed to do, you know? And so I get annoyed when, at times, because I'm human, that, you know, oh, they didn't invite me to this, or I'm not on this project, but that's because I'm supposed to be working on mine. So, yeah.
Yes. Okay, who has had the most influence in what you're doing and who you are in life?
That's a good question. Influence how? Like, do you mean, well, I'll just answer it. Influence, I think family, going back to family, I've seen so many things and seen greater for me, my family, and all of that. And so that influences me to want to push harder and go harder for them. But then I've had the privilege of working beside certain people. You know, when I was first starting out, the person that I learned a lot of my music management stuff was Matthew Knowles. Okay. So when he had a building out here, the House of Darion and all of that, I was coming up under him, learning in all the movements and stuff of the industry. And so he was very influential. And like I say, I had plenty of great examples of how to properly go into this stuff.
Well, I just want to say that you must have read my mind, because you definitely picked the right one. Because I was definitely talking about music to go into the next thing.
That's my thing. That's why I was asking, which were you talking about?
And I was about to think about like, what? But see, you had already hit the nail on it. So at what age did you realize that managing, producing was your calling and purpose?
Yesterday. Nah, man. You know, I had a very kind of imposter syndrome, kind of I want to do this, I don't want to do this complex. I started out, I taught myself how to play the piano. I was the youth choir director of my church, all of those things. Like, I started out in that realm growing up. And I thought that I wanted to be this big producer extraordinaire. And so I just was like, this is how I should do it. This is how the ways that I should go through it. I started a group with my homies back in right out of high school called Stoners Club. Yeah, exactly the name and exactly why y'all haven't heard of Stoners Club. But we started a music label called Stoners Club, and it was something. But
how many guys?
It was like 12 of us, honestly.
Wait,
it was
what?
It was a lot of us. It was a lot of us. We would all be at my homie CJ and Kadil's apartment, and we were making music and putting stuff out. We were doing a couple of shows.
Okay.
There's a show, if you look up, there's a song, if you look up Stoners Club that actually was kind of popular, but we hung out with the P. Woods and the Beat Kings back in college. Like, that was my beginning. And that was how music kind of came about for me. But I didn't think that I honestly was talented enough to be in music, if I'm being honest. And so a lot of times I would kind of slide to the back. It's why I picked up the camera. It's why I know how to do audio engineering and stuff. And those skills actually really helped me with what I do now, but I didn't think that I was qualified enough or good enough to actually be a musician or be a producer or do what I do now, so yeah.
Okay, you are doing an amazing job.
Listen,
I must
appreciate
say. Okay, so before we get into the marvelous session, because that's my stuff, y'all.
Okay.
March 16th on the way.
March 16th.
If you could change one thing in the music business, just since you've seen, so much, and you've gotten to, you said Matthew Knowles was your influence. You got to, work behind him. What would you like to change? If it was just
Changing the music industry, man, I would change the lack of transparency.
Okay.
So a lot of times in the industry, we think that everybody's doing well, that these musicians, these artists have it all together. They got millions and millions of dollars, and clearly this is why they have all fans and all of that. But a lot of that is smoke and mirrors. And so a lot of times people on social media, aspiring artists, producers, and all of that, they strive for something that actually isn't even real. And the percentage that do that is so much smaller than they think. And so, people are killing themselves trying to achieve something it ain't real. If you realize what the Billboard 100s are made of, if you realize that a lot of stuff is paid radio play and how much money goes into marketing for you to even hear it at home, you would make your music and be happy. You would just make your music and say, hey, I'm building my fan base and I'm doing what I'm doing. Because it's not what you think. So that's what I would change, the transparency.
I like that. Oh, dropping gems. Y'all ready for this?
It's silly.
Okay, so like I said, without further ado, I've been ready to talk about the session because I am a true fan, just in case y'all didn't know.
That.
So, how did the session come about?
Session came about one day in California. So I love LA. There's no secret about it. I will go to LA if the wind blows south. I love LA. I just do. I get inspiration. It's something about the beauty, the mountains, the get up and go, and remind me to say the difference between the music scene in LA and the music scene in Houston, if you ask me that. But I love LA, and my homies, we always kind of crack on each other like, hey man, you don't know this song? Like, you're not on it. Why you don't know this person? And it'd be people like you never heard of. They got like 12 followers, but it's like, you don't know them? They good. And so it was one day we were kind of doing that, and then we went and hiked. Now, I'm afraid of heights. So I have to listen to music, I have to pray, I have to do all kind of things because I am afraid of heights, but I like to hike. It's a weird thing. Forgive me. But I went hiking, and I was listening to this artist, Perry Jones, and there was a song called Free. And I was like, dog, this is so good. Why doesn't anybody, why am I not seeing this? Why don't, me and my friends were talking about that, like, we ain't heard of Perry. And I was like, man, why not? Like, it was driving me crazy. And then I think I was listening to somebody else, but Perry was really like the tipping point for me. And so before the pandemic had happened, this was, by the way, this was January when I did this, January 2020. I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go and make a showcase in Houston where you can see artists and listen to them and feel them. And so I'm thinking Perry's gonna be my first artist at the showcase. Then, I'm also putting on this event coming up in March called the Catch the Vibe Brunch, and that was a thing. And so then boom, March hit. March 1st was the day we did the Catch the Vibe Brunch. The pandemic closed everything down March 14th. And I was like, man, I'm not gonna be able to put up artists. And so we ended up waiting until August. And my homie hit me and said, hey, Perry's in town. Why don't you just sit up and record a video of her? And I was like, I kind of like that. I don't know. I want an audience. And he was like, bro, just do it. And that just do it was all I needed. So I called Perry. She was very sweet, barely knew me, but very sweet. And she was like, sure, I'll do it. She stayed an extra week just to film the session for me. Yeah. And that's the first episode of the session. And so that's how it came about.
Man, if y'all don't know who Perry is, for real, shout out Perry, because that voice.
Perry Jones Free is all over on TikTok. I think it's got like 20 million streams on TikTok.
Oh,
and the crazy thing is, that was in 2020, her song did very well, but everything grew, after just the snowball effect of the session, so yeah.
And she's from Houston, correct?
She's from Houston. She lives in New York. Her father is a very famous old artist. Well, not old. Forgive me, Unc, if you watch this. I love you, man. But not old, but he is a dope artist. He has that song, I'm standing in the rain.
Okay,
That's her dad. So yeah. Yeah. Oh, so she comes from a little bit of royalty. So yeah, it's a real dope thing. But yeah, she's from Houston.
Okay. Shout out Perry again. Okay, so I had to get into, because the session is on YouTube. And I just wanted to, what is your process of, getting it from, recording to getting it up on YouTube, and then your streams are going crazy. So I wanted to talk about how does that make you feel? So to be honest with you, again, it's crazy you asked that. I just was talking to somebody about how I'm just starting to get comfortable with that. The process, we simply recorded in the studio. It's very simple, I'll give everybody the formula because what's for me is for me, so how we do it is how we do it. But we recorded in the studio, cameras, it is live. They can do it again, but there's not any punching in, it's all natural. I wanted an acoustic type feel, to feel natural, but to also kind of feel like you're watching a concert, inside, being in the venue. And so, I didn't, we don't do a whole bunch of, we don't do really any auto-tune. The singers that I put on the session, and that's a lot of times when people ask me what the requirement is to be on the set, you gotta sing. You gotta be able to sing. If I didn't have a keyboard player in here and I just put a mic in front of you, you gotta be able to sing. And that's one of the main requirements of the session. I don't need to auto-tune you in G and have to transpose you to B flat to put you into the music. I don't want to do all that. And so you almost lost me.
It's cool. Some people will get it, some people won't.
Go into the flat.
Those are notes.
Okay,
Those are notes.
Gotcha.
And when people are in auto-tune, they have to be auto-tuned in a key. Okay. So I just told you the keys, that's all.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But nonetheless, we do that, we film it, and then I get it mixed and mastered. My video guy edits it, or sometimes I edit it, and we put it out on YouTube. Here's the thing. Most of the time, it is literally God, because I don't really, if I told you how much I've actually put behind marketing the session, it wouldn't make sense. I've probably spent a total of $150 in the last 3 years marketing the session. And so, it's not the same, it's just God, literally amplifying the platform, the artists being dope themselves. And so, yeah, that's how the streams go up. So that's what it's been. It's been real cool. We hit 1 million streams the first year on YouTube, and now we're at 3.8 on YouTube. So
oh my goodness.
3.8 million.
You just got 3.8 million.
God is good.
So fucking proud.
Thank you. 14 videos, and it's only been 14. I have not released more than 14 videos.
Man, I gotta get my spiel real quick, cause y'all bruh. Me and Josef met 2 years ago, and it has just been a beautiful
3
journey.
years ago.
3 years ago. It has been a beautiful journey just to watch where he has come from to where he is now, and like I am like extremely proud of him because I remember at one point in time you was just like
over it.
I don't know what's next.
You mean last week?
So yes.
And let me be honest with you before you ask me the second question or whatever question you're about to ask me. Y'all, stop thinking that no matter what height you're at, that you're not gonna feel like quitting, that you're not gonna be over it. That's why you have to have strong people in your corner, and you also have to know your purpose and your plan and the reason why you're doing this. A lot of time, one of the things that irritate the hell out of me is when I ask my little young homies, what do you wanna do? And they answer it by saying, I wanna make money. That burns me up. That is the absolute worst response. You do, when somebody asks you what you want to do what makes you happy. Find a way to make money, thrive and survive off of what makes you happy. People commit suicide, people do all kind of things because they're not doing what makes them happy. Mm-hmm. You know, I would do the session, play music, all of that for free. Never make $1. A lot of time, people didn't understand why I wasn't charging the artist to be on the session, or why the artists weren't charging me. And while I was paying my video team, my audio team, the studio fee and the band for an artist to come on there and get publicity and all of that. And I was like, y'all just don't get it, man. I'm not trying to get $500 off this one artist. I'm trying to get to the $500,000 bag, the $500 million bag. And so when you're short-sighted and you think, oh, I just want to make money, you're never gonna make it. You're gonna keep hustling and fumbling.
Man, I like that. Woo! Woo! I'm like, hey, I'm gonna say the audio to this have played in the corner with work. But I ain't gonna lie, I was just having that conversation with somebody at work. I don't know if you've ever seen on Instagram where they have like this man and it's like the dollar and he's like chasing
yes.
it. And as soon as he got ready to grab it, fell into the grave.
Yep.
And it's just like, so if you spend your whole life just chasing after money and not your purpose and what you're supposed to be doing, before you know it,
time gonna pass you by.
What? And you still only got that same $100 in your savings account.
Nope. And we don't know if it's gonna be 35, 45, or tomorrow. We don't know.
I like
so stop
that.
running.
You just made my shit. Hey, don't chase the money, chase the dream.
There you go.
Oh, I just gave myself a gym. Okay, let me. Okay, so 5 years from now, what is it that Isaiah wants to accomplish?
5 years from now, I want to be working in cinema.
Okay.
I definitely see tour. The session will be touring. We do something called the R&B Jam, which is happening March 16th. And another thing called Gospel Jam, which is happening April 2nd. But I see this going to different cities and locations and arenas and just being a vibe everywhere we go. And like I say, I do see cinema. I want to work on movie films, on TV shows. I have a innate ability for content. And so that's what I want to work on. I want to work on content. I want to be making hit albums and all that good stuff.
I love it. Y'all, he knew my questions. I ain't gonna even lie to y'all. I really didn't. Because this one about to get them.
Lord.
Before you leave this earth,
Okay.
what do you want your legacy to look like?
I want my legacy to look like impact, kindness, and genuineness, which are the things that I try to leave my life in. If anybody's ever met me, they can't say I'm shady. They can't say, like literally what you see is what you get, usually from day one all the way to day 1,000,001. And a lot of times that's not been a great thing for me. I don't really have a back down filter until you make me back down. So like literally people have to do things to kind of make me be like, okay, I'm gonna keep my distance from you. But I naturally like to give people good energy, and I usually give a lot of my energy. You know, if you ask something of me, I'm probably gonna do it just because that's just who I am. And so I want people to, well, I don't even want people. I know people will remember that because I know who I am. And so genuineness, impact, and being kind is literally the things that I want to leave. Sure, you can look at the session, you know, that YouTube could fail. Sure, you could look at songs that I've made or potential movies that I will make or whatever, but all of that can go away. But I want people to be like, man, that dude was dope.
Right. I love all this manifestation, you know, that you just speaking on. You should have seen my face when you said April 2nd, because, you know, I ain't going to be able to go.
I know.
But it's okay. Somebody's
Or my 30th birthday. On March 24th. It's cool.
It's all right. I'm going to have somebody videoing it, everything. I'm going to be up in the bed like,
It's cool.
Man, oh, my God. I feel like I'm glad I got these because I done learned some new stuff about you today. But y'all, I had to be funny. I was laughing when he was talking about, you know, just leaving his legacy, because even though I've been knowing Isaiah for 3 years, this year is my first year ever seeing his like super turned up. Baby, let me tell y'all, I said I'm gonna remove myself because listen, I don't think both of us going and it gonna work.
You know, you didn't see me super turned up. You just you saw me for the first time angry and aggravated.
Woo!
I am a very peaceful person. I'm a very calm person, and I am slow to anger. And when I say slow to anger, you've known me for 3 years, and you finally saw a moment where things weren't going right, and people. One of the things that really irritates me is you, and it's something that I got to work on with me. Nothing with people. Stop trying to find yourself in people. Stop trying to get out of them what you want out of yourself. And so that's something that I have to work on. But people ask me all the time, Isaiah, how can I help? Isaiah, why didn't you tell me this earlier and all of this? And then boom, it's show day and everything falling apart when I could have been working on that, you know? And so I was pretty irritated that day you saw me. So yeah.
Oh yes, I felt it. I saw it.
I mean, we're
about to catch a knuckle sandwich. You remember that?
Yeah.
He was about to catch a knuckle sandwich. But I also just want to say, if y'all have not had the chance really to go and just get on YouTube and experience the session, definitely take that time. And I cannot close the show without you giving the story about you going to see your cousin. And I think you said it was your cousin, and he was watching the session.
Man,
Didn't even know, like, his whole cousin.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. You know, that's one of the things that I kind of mentioned earlier about finally being comfortable with it. You know, I'm getting people follow me that I've never heard of, never know of, you know, and I'm getting these celebrities and things and labels that's following me, and it's kind of a new thing. I'm like, oh, this is different. And so I was in Atlanta, and me and his cousin, we were close growing up, but you know, he's an adult, I'm an adult, we both do our own things. And we were sitting at the house, and he was like, hey man, y'all got something in Houston that's real dope. And I was like, oh, I said, what, put me on, because I love being put on. And this man pulls up the session, and I damn near started crying. I was like, dude, you know that's mine. And he was like, no, it ain't, nigga. And I was like, yeah, bruh. I said, have you ever scrolled to the thing and look at what the caption says? I said, that's my name. He was like, bro. And it just became a whole thing of how he's been watching it. His girl put him on, and he been like, this is so dope. And he was sharing it with people. And so that was a authentic moment that, yeah, will forever be a thing for me.
Nah, for sure. I remember you telling me that story, and I was just like, man, that is so cool. Because your behind do have a thing. Well, you have gotten better, but you did have a thing for just like playing the background when you.
I've always been in it.
Then put the
I've
sauce
always
on
been
the
in
whole thing, and then you wanna.
I've learned to stop saying we. Everything I've ever said when I be the session, well, we did this and we did that, and you know, well, my team. What team? You know, I've learned humility is a great thing. And I'm a very humble person, and I will be an humble person. The only thing that I will change is I will stop being quiet. That is, I refuse to be quiet anymore. I will be humble, but I won't be quiet. Humility will put you in a tax bracket that is below where you should be. Humility will put you in a place at a job below where you should be, because what we do is we work, we keep our head down, and we're quiet. And people tend to take advantage of that. How good you are, that does not matter if you sit there and you're quiet about it. So I'm no longer quiet about it. When I walk in the rooms and they have an invoice, or they ask for an invoice, or we have a call sheet or anything like that, I tell them that I want top billing. And if anybody's wondering about what top billing is, that literally means that if I'm in the room, you're probably paying me the most, because I have a unique set of skills and I have knowledge. And then what I don't know, I have contacts that I can call. And so, yeah, that's that humility thing. It'll cash you a check that barely will pay the bills.
I like that. Dang, man. All right, well, last but not least, one message that you would leave your fans.
I don't have fans. What you said? What message?
Yes. What is the, actually, I left out a word. What positive message? And you do have fans. You got session. They just don't know what we gonna push out more that, hey, it's Isaiah Parks. They're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And actually, look, just to bring up another story, I was out with a friend. I think I told you this. I think I didn't. Can't remember. But I was out eating with one of my good friends, and I had invited him to the show. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I want you to come to the show. He was like, oh my God, I always watch the session, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, this is one of my good friends. And when I pulled out your page and I showed, he said, wait, that's his stuff? I said, yeah. He was like, you done brought him around us like a couple times. I was like, yeah, that's his stuff. He was like, oh my God. So I don't think he got to make the last one, but he was like, he coming to
March 16th.
So like I said, what is one message that you would give, positive message that you would give your fans?
Be patient with yourself. Stop allowing the, again, smoke and mirrors, the facades, the social media filters to fool you into thinking that you have to rush your process. Move at your speed. Don't stop moving, but move at your speed. And yeah, be patient with yourself. I tell myself that now more than ever. Be patient with yourself.
I just love it. Look at this person that you. Okay, so last but not least, I just want you to give your social medias. Where can you find the session? Where can you find you on Instagram and things like that?
My Instagram is visionary_genius. My session page is This Is The Session on Instagram. On TikTok, it's The Session X, which has grown. Like, we gained 15,000 followers in 3 weeks. I was like, oh, this is crazy. That's TikTok, The Session X, and then YouTube, The Session X.
And 3.8 million.
3.8 million.
3.8 million.
Listen, YouTube is now starting to fund my lifestyle.
Bruh, listen, well, I'm gonna come, listen, y'all. I'm gonna have him teach me, then I'm gonna teach y'all. Because I ain't gonna lie, I'm one of them people that, you know, when I learn something too, I reach back, to grab.
Share it.
You gotta keep them.
Share it. We don't do that enough. Everything is competition. Share it.
What they call it, crabs in a bucket. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna lie, one of my shows, somebody said that, and I ain't gonna lie, I kind of zoned out, because at first I didn't get it, but then when I started thinking about it, I was like, oh snap, when one crab get on that crab, another one pulling that one down for the next one to get up. Yep. Whereas if we all like build a table, we get all up.
It's crazy.
Man. So, y'all already know, man. I told y'all it was gonna be a good interview. Jim's gonna be coming everywhere from this one. I ain't gonna even lie. I have really enjoyed this. And like I said, this has been my friend for 3 years, and I learned some new things, you know, myself tonight. A 12-guy group. I don't know how you did that.
Yeah, man.
But,
Stones Club.
Man, I appreciate you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem.
Thank you for doing something dope.
Thank Thank you. I'm just trying to be like you when I grow up. Well, y'all already know what it is. It's your girl Tay.
And it's Isaiah, aka Zay, aka Visionary _Genius.
And it's True Tuesday at Trill Reality Studios. We out.